Hey guys, welcome to the Keep It at 99 podcast. We're here today, me and Mona, and we have a special guest, Miriam.
Hi.
Jeez, that was. And today we're going to be talking about the flaws of the American education system.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about everyone's favorite things: the SAT, ACT, GPAs, college
rank.
admissions, class rank for those that it applies to.
Yeah.
I don't have a class rank actually. Our school doesn't have
We
that.
actually do.
You do?
Yes.
I feel like it's so weird, like knowing like a number that you are like compared to everyone else in your school.
So
That sucks.
Texas is one of 5 states in all of America to implement class ranking system.
So you know, like who's literally like right ahead of you.
You don't
You
know.
don't-
You
you
don't
don't
know.
know.
You don't know. You
I
just
mean,
know where you know where you sit, but you don't know where anyone else sits.
Yeah, but if you ask someone else, then
Well, yeah, but typically you don't share that information. It's pretty confidential.
nice. So the class rank works like within your own school.
Yes.
I just the issue that I have with like stuff like that, like class rank, like comparing yourself to the people at your own school is like, let's say you're like rank 100 at your school, but at another school, if you transfer, you would be like rank like 21, and so it creates like a lot of issues because
Yep. Yeah.
it doesn't actually all it showcases is like your school in general. It doesn't showcase you as an individual.
Right. So in Texas, where I'm from, Texas, each school does class ranking differently, and if you're in top 10%, you're auto admitted into any Texas school. So
Jeez.
regardless of where you stand in terms of extracurricular, your SAT scores, you're automatically accepted into the school. So it kind of puts pressure on those that are in the 90% because they want to be up there and have like a safety college to go to. But the problem, as you said, is like the less funded, less quality like teachers. Those schools typically have very like low rankings, and very smart kids are typically like up there. And then there's like the kids that aren't as smart, but there just aren't enough smart kids, if that makes sense. Which I think
Yeah.
everyone's smart in their own way. Everyone has talents, but they're up there. And so then it's like someone that's really not qualified to get admittance is getting auto admittance into a school that they don't deserve.
Yeah, that sounds kind of.
So it's definitely screwed up.
Yeah,
to say the least.
I feel like class ranking is just, and not only that, but like just like seeing that number, like if it's something that you like weren't expecting or something that you don't really want to see, like something like lower than you expected, like it honestly has like a lot of like other like effects like on you, like it's already hard enough when you take the SAT and you get a score that you were hoping was a lot higher. It's another thing to know that you are literally worse than this many, not worse, but like you're performing in school worse than this many kids at your school.
Yeah.
Like
I agree.
that's like a very, very, very difficult thing to just like digest internally. And especially for those kids that are like right in the middle, because like you just see that number, like let's say your class has like 600 kids and you just see that number like 250 and it's just like, geez.
Yeah, it really invalidates all your hard work, especially like, so yeah, if it's 600, then it's 60 kids at the top 10. And even if you're like right 65, you're on the cusp of making it and you've worked so hard, that means that the 60th person could have maintained above 98s all year and still be up there. So it's just subject per school. Like there are some schools that are very competitive. Like I go to a very competitive school. So everyone at the top is going to have no less than a 97 in AP classes, which
That's
is
crazy.
really crazy.
That's
really, really
insane.
crazy.
I don't think I've gone at 97 in a class. It's not
So like
weight
the
training.
valedictorians of my school has to maintain above 101 in like every AP class that he or she is in.
You have a 101.
Yeah.
Anyways, so moving on from class rank, because class rank is just it's very limited. It's not like a universal thing. Something that is universal is the SAT and ACT.
And just standardized testing in general.
And standardized testing. So what are your thoughts on standardized testing?
So I definitely think it's not the best way to dictate if someone should or should not be admitted into college. And you definitely see like nowadays where there's test optional and also like they're weighing extracurriculars and class ranking and involvement in leadership and just volunteering more so than the SAT. But you just can't erase it because it's a very universal thing, and it's the only way to truly measure someone's ability to regurgitate information back into a test and all the knowledge that they've learned. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with that.
I have definitely like bad, like harsh feelings towards it, but I mean, you can't get rid of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree 100%. Of like, the SAT is, and like standardized testing is necessary. I just feel like the way how it's done is horrendous. Like, you know, I took the SAT yesterday.
Me too.
And at Woodstock High School, and just like, it's not even the test itself. It's like, you know, like trying to get into the, you know, classroom to start your test. You know, it takes forever, and it's like all these outside things that just build up like the stress you have to like actually take it, and then you go and take it, and there's just some questions where you're just like why is this on here?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and I want to add, like, all of the information, and this is true. College Board itself, the whole like organization. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Is very fickle, and that basically just means that they say something and they do something else. And like, truly in writing it, I mean, all of the information, the content on the SAT, by eighth grade, we know it. It's been taught by eighth grade. It's just the way that they ask the questions, and obviously your like heartstrings, like you go into the test. Like yesterday I went into the test. Obviously I'm like, oh my gosh, if I screw up, my life, like my college, my career is at the line. Like, I'm not going to be a doctor. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do now? So it's not necessarily that I can't answer the questions, because when I'm in my right mind, like outside of testing day, I can answer them perfectly. Like I do really well in the English and the writing. Like, I'm really good at that. But then math, like, even though I know the math and I know how to do it, I know the equations, and I know like every step of everything, it just doesn't come out. Yeah.
So when you took because you're a freshman, you took the PSAT.
Yeah.
What did you think
Beginning of the year? I mean, it was, like she said, it was easy. It was simple, but it was worded so hard, like you don't understand it.
And there's usually two good answers. And a better one, which is really annoying. And
they tell you you have 4 hours to complete it.
I mean,
but that 4 hours flies by so fast. It feels like it's been 20 minutes.
Like each section like flies by really fast.
Do they give you just 4 hours?
Yeah, they just gave us 4 hours for the whole thing.
Really?
But they sectioned it into like the writing, like an hour something like that.
So like,
so I thought they.
So you're saying it's like each section flew by so fast that you weren't able to answer.
I wasn't able to answer like some of them.
Some of the
questions.
See, that's funny because and it just takes practice, but. Like the SAT for me, like I finish every section with so much time left. Like I work
normally
quick,
I do, not yesterday.
But I work. Well, yeah. I mean, obviously you had a
bubbling.
Did the
teacher
bubble you?
No, I actually did use my right arm, with an insane amount of pain, and I just got through it because I try. So you know, like at the beginning, right? You like fill in all your information, like bubble and like all that, you know, for like 30 minutes or whatever. Yeah. So I'm trying to do it with my left hand. And it's just not going.
It's not, yeah.
And I'm just like so nervous. I'm like, because think about it, like we're about to be seniors. We have how many SATs possible? Like if we took every single one until college admissions.
I'm taking the August one and then I'm done. Yeah. So if I don't do well, then.
Yeah, like we have like 2 or 3 max. So like I have to make the most of this. So I just had to pull out the broken arm and just go for it.
You gotta do what you gotta do. And honestly, they don't care, and life isn't fair.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's life.
Yeah. So you know, the SAT is like a longer exam with like. Supposed to be harder questions. It's not.
Supposedly.
I think it's easier. I think the questions on the SAT are easier than the ACT.
And the
ACT is shorter.
I have no exposure to the ACT. Don't think I'm going to study for it. Don't think I'm going to take it. A lot of the colleges that I want to go to don't require it. And if anything, again, they're test optional anyways. So I'm really trying to hone in on my leadership skills and my extracurriculars and balancing my GPA, of course, because that's very important. Aside from the one day in the 1 year that I take a test, that isn't really
the whole year, like 9th grade, I did not check my GPA at all. I just didn't know how to. It was on the school website. It wasn't on where I check my grades. So I just didn't know how to check my GPA.
It comes out like on your transcript when you get it.
Yeah.
So I don't know my GPA
in August,
like while I'm in school.
Your first day of school, you should get, at least most schools, give you a transcript, like an unofficial transcript that has like all your classes that you took and all that stuff. So on August 1st, which I think is when Cherokee County goes back to school. Second. On August 2nd, you will know your freshman GPA.
See, we get our GPA in June, the end of June. They recalculate class ranking, and so also class ranking, I'm not going to go back to it, but it's based on your weighted GPA. So like for me, I took 6 AP classes this year with an honors class and then like just another class, but like if I like, I don't know how they do it here, but if I have like a 90
there's no class ranking
in an
here,
AP
so.
class, it's 100 on my weighted GPA.
If you
It's
get a
10
what?
points, 10 points for AP and 5
nice.
points for honors,
So actually, some schools,
which
so
is
that's
essentially
something
like
else.
0.5 to your weighted GPA.
Oh, okay. So it's not like double added. Like it's not added on your GPA and on your grade.
No, it's towards your weighted GPA.
So
They have your
okay.
unweighted and your weighted, and then the weighted is towards class ranking, which is applicable in Texas.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
So like how it works, right? For most schools in the rest of the United States, well, not the rest of the United States, in Georgia at least, most schools in Georgia, if you take an AP class and you get an A in it, you got like a 5 as your weighted GPA for that class. Or if you get a BE, you get a 4.
Oh,
whereas
4.
like
Yeah.
on level
Okay,
is
I
like
see, I
a
see.
4. However, there are some schools or some county systems in Georgia that not only add that, but also add an extra 10 points to your grade in the class. So you basically get like a double boost. So
Yeah.
let's say you get an 80 in an AP class, that's a 5 instead of a 4.
Right.
So it's
We don't
and
do
that's
that,
the issue,
but
is that like the inconsistency of it.
I would agree. I think inconsistency is a good word for it.
Like
There's still so much room for improvement in terms of the education system, like in general. Standardized testing being one of them, class ranking, GPAs, and they claim that they're setting us up for future and for
Nope.
success, but they're not actually. In reality, they're just deterring us. Like someone like me, I am like super emotional, and I am a hard worker, and I work so hard for the grades that I hope to see. And when I don't achieve it, and I see someone that has been slacking off but cheats, or is just someone that is able to like
Just
test
get
take
by.
well, because I can't test take well, but they may be able to. That is really disencouraging for me.
No, I mean like that's 100% true. Like I'm one of those people that like kind of just like gets by just like taking the test and
See,
stuff.
someone like you would make me really mad.
So normally I'm like that. There's a lot of times that where like I can't do that, and so I'm like realizing now like if I don't like actually study for things, college is gonna be tough. Like college is gonna hit me like a rock.
Yes.
Like, and I'm glad that I'm realizing it like now, like junior year, senior year, because like freshman, sophomore year, like I did not study at all, and like this last year, like I've been trying to study, and I just don't know how to. So
Yeah.
that's what senior year is for, is learning how to study, for me at least.
Okay.
But if I had to
See,
give you
I'm
any
senior
advice,
year. I'm signing out. Like I will be
I'm not
having the
signing out.
best time of my life. I am going to have a blast senior year.
it's fun for you because I'll be doing the opposite. I probably have more work senior year than I had last year. But anyways, if I had to give you a piece of advice for school, it would definitely be work hard.
I always say that.
My
work
advice
hard
is
now.
work hard.
now.
Because you work hard
Once
now,
sophomore year comes.
you don't have to work later. Like
Yeah, that's true.
It's very simple, and I keep telling myself that, and obviously like I'm gonna go next year and probably slack off again, but like I should probably start working hard. But
Find good friends that will motivate you to.
yes, that's a
Like,
big thing.
okay, if you're not an academics person, which you don't have to be, in total respect, because I'm academics, but I'm also like the craziest person outside of school. Like I love having fun, and I love like just like I have a
That's
good
true.
balance, I would say. But like if academics isn't your thing, sure. Like I mean, if sports is your thing, like if you're in football or in cheer or whatever, volleyball. I used to do volleyball. Like if you're in something that you love, like give it your all. But if academics is something that you really care about, then just find the right friends that are gonna like push you towards becoming academically successful, because a lot of my friends I made in my AP classes, and they're my best friends now, and we all study together, and then we have fun on the weekends, and it's great.
Must
And
be
it's
nice.
great. Yeah.
No, but I feel like just another thing to add on to what you said, like study groups, like studying together is one of the best ways.
I actually hate it.
Study.
Really?
Why
Me
do
and my
you hate
friends talk the entire time.
Because
the
that's
entire
just
time.
you, man. But
Yeah.
I'm a lot more productive when I'm around people, just in an environment with
Really?
other people.
I'm the opposite.
If I'm at home at my desk, I am on YouTube for 6 hours.
That is so weird.
Hopefully, my mom does not hold this against me. But if I
6 hours for what?
I get home and just watch YouTube until I can't waste and like, physically cannot waste any more time.
So would you say that you have good time management?
No, terrible.
Probably not. Obviously not. Do you wanna?
No, not at all.
No, one is worse than.
I honestly don't think
No,
I do
I'm not.
either. Because if I had the option to go to a birthday party or go or study for a test, I would go to the birthday party.
Okay, well, so would I mean? I wouldn't even study studying wouldn't even be an option in the first place. For me at least. Anyways, back to the.
How do you like not study for like I always wonder for the people
I
that
have
just
a
go
really
into a
good memory.
test not studying.
So I take really good notes.
Okay.
And something about me when I write down information, it's ingrained in my head.
Photographic memory.
I almost like.
That's a talent. That's
I'm
really
like
that's amazing.
I have a really good memory when it comes to things I want to remember.
That's awesome. Not me.
So
Stay
it plays
safe,
an
though.
advantage, but the issue is when it
Yeah.
comes to applying things. So
Yeah.
any test where there starts to become applications is where I start to struggle, because unless if it's like the same step by step as another application we
Yeah.
did earlier, I'm screwed. So that's why the physics 1 AP exam was terrible.
I did not take that, thankfully. I actually opted out of that exam. But I did want to add
Really?
something. Yeah. I did
Wow.
want to, I know.
It is the hardest AP exam there is. So.
Actually, the day before, I had taken biology and Spanish on the exact same day. I would never do it
That
again.
sounds terrible.
You were saying something about, I just forgot.
Memory.
A little further after that.
I
was gonna say
something
something
about
like
how I
super
can just like
important.
get by, like studying without studying.
Okay, I'll remember it, but it was something that I wanted to like come on here, like. Oh, application. Okay. So I wanted to like when I was like, oh, I'm going to get on here, like I wanted to say something just to like everyone, like do not be disencouraged by the grade or the number that you have on a report card or on your official transcript, because in the real world, you will never have to be assessed on your knowledge. It's all application. It's all the relationships and the friendships you make and the connections you make and like just like your interpersonal skills. You will never be sat down to take a test again. So don't be discouraged by that. If you know that you lack in that area, but you're a strong communicator, like I love talking and I love communicating.
You can tell.
So yeah, so I see, like I just like loving presentations. Like this kind of stuff is going to really get you far in life. So don't be discouraged by a grade that may not be to your liking.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think by like trying to grow this like the little podcast brand. I know it's not a brand yet. Don't clown me, but like whatever this podcast is, to try to expand.
The motivation is there, the passion is there. It's gonna happen.
And it's like I've noticed like those skills like outside of what you do in school are so important. Like communication, being able to persuade people, being able to convince people, being able to like really like showcase like who you are and like what you're about. Like that is probably the most, and connections. Those are like connections are probably the most important thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like interpersonal skills and connections, like
Yeah.
that's what's gonna take you in life.
Because it's not what can you tell us about X, Y, or Z. It's how can you show us that you know this, and how can you use this knowledge to do something. So that's really important. Just don't be swayed by it, because I definitely did a lot of that, and you overthink a lot and it gets to your head and then it actually just clouds your brain, and then you can't because you just feel like you're not able to anymore, but you really are. Like you are more than you think you are. You are able to do more than you think you are.
I agree. Anyways, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So.
Let's get him to talk.
Yes, it's your turn to talk today.
Please talk to me.
I mean, I've been processing all this information, but it's
like
so hard.
This was me, like when I was a freshman, like they just dump information on you,
Yeah.
like high school. And then it's like, oh my God, like what the heck?
Yeah, I'm scared for a freshman year of college again, because it's going to be the same thing. It's going to be dumped with information. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm dual enrolling next year. I'm
Okay.
dual enrolling English.
Okay.
Because I don't want to take English again in my life.
You probably will
And
have to.
I probably will, but
So-
at least less of it in college.
Okay.
So the thing about it is that like this whole like dual enrollment process, it's so like if that's what college
It's
admissions
tedious.
college
It's
admissions is
tedious.
like more than that. Like, and
Yeah.
I hate busy work and I hate like tedious tasks. Like college admissions is going to be the most boring and dragging like thing ever, because like to dual enroll at KSU, right?
What is dual enrollment?
So dual enrollment.
Well, yeah. Why don't we separate that for him? Like
Yes.
dual versus
Alright,
AP.
So dual enrollment is where you take a class at a college. You take a college class at a college. AP classes are you take a college level class at your high school. So, for example, there's two options if you want to take a college level language arts. You can take AP Lang, or you can dual enroll English, and it's English 1101 or 1102. So, instead of taking AP Lang, because Walton High School is very hard and AP Lang is impossible, I'm going to take English.
People do it though.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm going to take English 1101 at KSU because it might be a little bit easier for me, and it gets the college credit out of the way. But if you take the AP class and you pass the exam, or you get the score that the college that you're going to accepts, then you can also bypass that class as if you took it at their college.
The rigor and the workload is essentially the same. AP's probably worse.
Yeah.
But, well, it is worse. I'm going to say that. It is worse. I believe AP is much better than dual enrollment. But if you want to stay in state, dual would be really good for you. I live in Texas. I mentioned that already. But I want to go to UGA or Emory. And they won't ever take dual from Texas. Whereas if I went to a Texas school like A&M, UT even, then they would. So, like, it's just about where you want to go, what you want to do with your life. So, you have to.
Oh, okay.
So back to the dual enrollment admissions.
Yeah.
It is a pain. It takes hours upon hours upon hours. And this is just a dual enroll a single class.
Yeah.
And they just tell you things, and then you just have to figure it out. Like, it's not like.
That's kind of how I feel about the college admission process. Like, no one has told us a thing.
There's
we're
no
supposed to
step-by-step.
start applying in July. Like,
You're supposed to start applying in July? I didn't know
okay.
that.
Like, I'll just download the
Chicken, did you
Common
know
App
that?
and.
By the way, when are you supposed to do Common App? Because I just don't know.
What even is the Common App? Like,
What
these
is
are
Common
these
App?
are the questions that I have that have never been answered,
Look-
but I
look at
know
mine.
when I talk about it.
I'm so confused. I'm so lost.
So, well, it's.
Okay,
yeah,
so,
I mean, honestly.
So we'll take it step by step. Common App is. This is all from Wanda, by the way. Sorry if you're still watching.
Yeah.
But Common App is basically like a single application that applies to many colleges. Or if it's not that, it's a place where you can go to find the admissions for many colleges and apply them.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
it's just an easier way
So
to
it's
apply.
like a list of schools that you could get with your score.
No, because it has to do with your essays.
It's like a search engine. So like you go on Google,
Yeah,
you
it's like-
search
it's
what
like
you want to.
Google.
You search dogs, and then it pops up like dog, like it's just so random. Dog images and dog websites. Like you go into the Common App and you search whatever school you want to do, whatever major you want to do, and then it'll show you the top choices.
And then you go in and you
then
apply
apply
from
there.
there. And then
It's
some
just a tool.
schools.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put
Exactly.
it.
Okay.
It's a tool.
It's a tool.
I actually enrolled dual enrollment on Common App and I didn't even notice. That's the type
I
of
don't
thing.
even have a
is,
Common App account, so I think I should definitely get.
I mean,
it.
I don't know. I don't
I
know.
just don't. I genuinely don't know, and that's another discrepancy about the education system. They just don't tell you things.
And it's the reason why is because everything is so different. I even remember, so when I came out of middle school, right, the kids from my middle school go to one of two high schools, which is weird to me because my old middle school was not like that. So you either went to Walton High School or Pope High School. And so the information that we got was so confusing because you would get information for both schools. So for example, I'm in the STEM, sorry. So for example, I'm in the STEM Academy at Walton, and you have to apply in 8th grade, obviously. So it was so confusing because Pope has their own stuff, their own academies. And so unless if your homeroom teacher knows, you're screwed. So my homeroom teacher had kids that went to Pope. So I knew nothing about the Walton stuff, and it in order to get that information, you have to ask a lot of people. You gotta figure it out. Honestly, a lot of it by yourself. You have to go. I remember I went to Walton's website and just looked till I found it, type of thing. Mm-hmm. And so that's a very small scale example compared to college. There are so many colleges.
Yeah.
And there are so many people going to so many different colleges, and it's so hard to really figure out which college is for you. It's not just because there's so many options. And so I feel the way how information is being dumped, it's just not right, man.
So
Colleges should just have a single way, and they should just a single way to get into every single application for every single college, and that's it.
That's because it's just hard. It's just hard.
It is hard,
to
to standardize all that.
Yeah, I mean it just is, and different colleges want different things, and their students, and you just can't put it under all one umbrella because there's just so much.
I just wish it was.
Me too, and hopefully they enhance the system because I think the future really needs it.
Yeah, because they don't have an attention span to sit through a 13-hour application.
And it
13
really
hours?
is
Yeah.
weird, just
So there's a website called College Vine, which will show you actually you put in your scores and your extracurriculars, and it will give you a percentage chance of what school you'll get into.
I have never heard of this.
I saw it on Instagram. I just was curious and I just wanted to see like what my chances were to get into certain schools. And it also shows you the time it takes on average to complete an application for that school. So, for example, for in-state students at Georgia Tech, I believe, don't quote me on this, I believe it's 11 hours or 12 hours of time on average for you to complete the application, including the essays. For example, like MIT, there was one that was like over 20 hours. I can't remember what it was.
It's crazy.
But like imagine, and that's just for one college. Like you're going to be applying
Common
for
App
what?
kind of does.
Common App does a lot
standardize
of it
so like you
for you.
do your application and then they send it off to the colleges that are applicable, like able to take this application and process it. But like for
Some
me,
don't.
like I mean, okay, where do you even want to go?
Me? I want to go to Georgia Tech, which is probably not going to happen. Or
Don't say
UGA.
that. See,
Don't
don't
say
be
that.
like him. Like
All
don't.
right, here are my three top options going from most reach to least reach. Harvard School of Engineering, Georgia Tech, UGA.
Okay. I have like 15 schools on my list.
Those are like my main three. There's obviously like other ones.
Like
But they, like,
my
don't
top
matter.
college right now is UGA, but my like dream college is Emory. But I also really like TCU and SMU and not Houston. Sorry, in Texas. Those are in Dallas. And I like UT. Not really, kind of. It's definitely like a safe school to go to.
Yeah.
Like UT A&M. But I also like UF. Like, I'm all over
So
the
there's
place.
just everywhere.
Yale, like I'm just all over the place. Like I don't know
Well, no,
where.
I'm kidding. I'm not gonna ask you.
Well, I don't even know.
Here, like, do you if you had to ask an upperclassman something, what would you ask them?
That's a good question.
Ooh.
Yeah, if you had a question
Because
about
I just feel like you're trying to
high
navigate
school.
high school still. So
I don't know, to be honest.
Number one question about high school.
How do you stay focused?
I don't stay focused, so don't ask me.
don't ask. Honestly, I literally told you I preferred to be with my friends. Than,
I get home
like-
and watch YouTube every day.
okay, but no, on a real note, like
I'm being serious. Like I actually do that.
I would,
How to stay focused?
I would just say like know what's best, like know what works for you. So for me, I like planning things out. I like writing things down. Do you like I don't think you do.
I actually
No,
do.
you
I
do.
actually
Oh, really?
love
Okay.
writing things down, but I
Same.
never write things down.
I find satisfaction in crossing things out. Like I will cross out my planner, like plans for days. Like I love that. It just makes me feel like I've accomplished something, whatever. So I use a planner and I manage my time. Like for instance, I like going to the gym. So I work out for an hour every day and I know, okay, after I work out, I'm typically like very stimulated. Like I want to like do something because I'm so like, I'm not dead
Yeah.
after. So like, let me do my homework then. And I like to go to the coffee shop to study next to my gym because I can't study at home. So just like know what works for you and then implement that in your routine because I feel like that will definitely like help you maneuver high school because you will lose focus. Like I went to every game this like a football season. I went to every single game. Like I didn't miss one. I went to a few baseball games. Like I've done things. Like I've been to things and I've had the high school experience for sure, but I've also been able to keep high A's in my AP classes and so like it's just like it's balance. It's balance and it's motivation. Ultimately, it's like where do you see yourself? I want to be a doctor. I have to work really hard. Everyone wants to be a doctor, but not everyone can be a doctor. If I want to be a doctor, then I need to push myself harder than everyone around me because they're not going to make it, but I will. That's the kind of mentality you have to have.
Yeah.
So like just know what works best for you and then that passion,
Another thing I would say in order to stay focused, this is a really, really Sunday school answer, but pray. Like praying before you study or reading the Bible or something, like it calms you down and it puts you in a mood to where you're not like always trying to like think about other things.
100%.
And I would like honestly like prioritize, like obviously keep school priority, but prioritize like your spiritual life outside.
I
Prioritize
so agree with
because
that.
if you put time into God and you put time into your spiritual life,
He will provide.
Yeah, that will you will notice the effects like in your own life. And I know like no one likes to do that, and like even me, like I struggle to do it like a ton. Like I struggle a lot actually to pray like consistently, but when you do, you never regret it. Like the two things that you'll never regret doing is going to church and going to the gym. They're two things you never want to do, but you'll never regret.
I agree. I think just to add off like real quickly, just to add off like on that, like I find myself like only praying when I need something from God, and it's like He's my genie, like granting me wishes, and which is not like it's just not how it should
It's
be.
your relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's mutual. But like trust me, like when I tell you, like put your faith in God, God will provide. Like the other night, like I was praying for the SAT and I was just like, let me just open the Agbeah and read something, Book of Hours, by the way. Like, let me just read a verse or a psalm. And I'm not even joking. I read a psalm and it spoke to me. And I was like, this is so weird. Like, there's no way that it literally is speaking.
It does that.
Like, and it might be words that you've read, like Psalm 1, you've read it a million times. And when you read it this time, it's like, I never knew these words were in the psalm. And these words were meant for me on this day, in this moment, for whatever I'm dealing with. And it's so crazy how God works in people's lives. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the, just the richness of our faith is that everything is so layered. You could read the same verse over and over again, and every single time there'd be a new meaning to it.
It's crazy. So, like, yeah, that's really important. Just, and I always have, like, I have a designated saint for every subject, and I always write the saint's name at the top of my tests.
Nice.
And I always, like, sign the cross on my Scantron. On all my Scantrons.
I draw a cross on my Scantrons.
I think Kevin mentioned that last episode.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
He does the,
yeah.
He
I
draws
also,
the cross
so
on.
my signature, it's whatever, like
Has
I
a
say
cross.
at Boxer, and I put a cross on it.
That's smart.
So it's on my
It's 'cause
SAT.
it's not my will, it's God's will.
Exactly.
And in God, if you didn't study for it and you assume and you like think that God's gonna like do it for you, like he's not going to. Like you gotta put in the effort and he will show up.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has your back. But you like, you know, like it's that kind of thing. Like you put in the effort and he will, and like he knows how hard you work. And even if you didn't do well on it, like he has a better plan for you ultimately. So just put your faith in God, and I promise you, this is like an array of subjects. Like I feel like
that's
gone through everything, but but I mean, as focus, like never lose focus on what's important to you, what matters to you. Have that passion, have those people in your life to support you, have that faith, because ultimately he will, like that's something you can just like fall back on, your faith.
Yeah, 100%.
And God will never leave your side, even if everyone in this world will. Everyone, your friends, everyone. Trust me, everyone's in it to win it, you know?
Yeah.
Which is really sad, but God will never
competing against your friends.
Never leave.
Competing against your friends.
And that's why I don't.
Competitive person.
No. Like for me and Kevin were talking about this the other day. Like me and Kevin have a very similar like career path that we want to follow, and we want to go to the same schools. And it's like we are literally competing against each other.
And you don't want to do it, but like
I got to, man. I gotta get the upper edge.
It's
like I don't want to.
Like you want to build each other up, but like also, I mean, it's life. Life isn't fair, and some people win, some people lose.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but.
All right, well, thank you, Miriam, for being
You're
on the
welcome.
podcast. Thank you guys for watching.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. We'll have you again sometime, unless one that kills me. But
okay, I'll be the third
Next
co-host.
time.
Third co-host.
Because I think I just want to like have like a one day, like I just want to take over, like a Miriam takeover, because I love talking. Like I will sit in front of a microphone and talk all day.
So here's something you need to do. Create a podcast called Miriam's Takeover.
Okay.
Oh, maybe.
I don't have time for that.
Okay. Well, you win
But
some, you lose some.
I definitely will be on this again. Hopefully.
For sure.
Hopefully.
All right. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and see you later.
Bye, guys.